Hi guys, we are back. First off, I just want to show you a couple of resources that are historical, but also can give you inspiration for future trends and so forth. As we know, fashion is cyclical, so it's a great resource to take a look at. So what I'm going to do is we're going to jump into our databases. So you've got the Browse Database button over on the far right-hand side. If you select that, you'll see you've got a lot of different ways to navigate this Browse A to Z page. So you've got your alphabet. If you know the start of the letter that the database starts with, you can easily jump to that and see all the databases that way. You have your popular databases and new databases right off the bat. And then you've got your two main drop-down menus. So all subjects really breaks it down by fashion, business, design, all those different aspects. And then your database types, meaning the type of resources. Is it an ebook? Is it a newspaper? Is it streaming video? You've got all of those options to limit it down that way. So to start out, I'm going to go into fashion. And if you're on the subject page, what will happen is your subject librarians will be over on the far right-hand side, your library recommendation databases right up at the top, meaning they're highly used by folks in School of Fashion, and they're constant go-tos for y'all. There are additional resources. It doesn't mean they're any less important. It's just, you know, a lot of people go to WWD or a lot of people go to WGSN, and it's a little bit easier to have them right up at the top of the page. I will just point out that if a database is up here, it won't be listed down below in the A to Z list, and vice versa. The database is only listed on the subject page once. You also have research guides. The tutorial will walk you through all of that a little bit later. So if you have questions about that, you can always reach out to me and we'll go from there. So in terms of historical as well as, you know, inspiration, I recommend taking a look at our magazine archives. So you'll see Harper's Bazaar archive, Vogue and Vogue Italia, as well as the WWD archive. Any four of these resources are going to be amazing. Now, one thing you will notice is that they're all run through the same database company. So if you select Harper's Bazaar or Vogue, they're all, the interface will look very similar. The one last thing about Harper's Bazaar is that it includes the US and the UK, whereas the Vogue archive is specifically US and Vogue Italia is specifically Italian Vogue. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind. I will start with an advanced search for Harper's Bazaar and we'll go from there. So here you can see your keyword area, your publication date. You can put in a specific company or product, document type, document feature, and then this is where you could limit that down. Are you wanting to search just for Harper's Bazaar UK, or are you wanting to search for just for the US option? You can limit that down too. So we can go in and take a look and say, you know what, I'm interested in inspiration from Vera Wang, whether it's a wedding dress or her as a person or her fragrances, beauty, whatnot. And you can kind of go from there. So I'm going to actually type in, because I'm designing wedding dresses along with Vera Wang, just to make it a little bit more succinct with wedding. We get 41 results. Again, everything from advertisements to articles to fashion shoots will show up here. You can also limit that down by date, document type, author even. You've got all different types of options, which is really cool. So here I find something that is intriguing. I'm going to click into the title. It is a full text resource, so you have access to all of it. And then you'll scroll through and see the full text of the article. It's essentially a scanned version of the print. So this is a 4-page spread. So I'm going to use the arrow keys to jump through and see each page. You'll see up top the toolbox, so you can save, cite, email. You also see related items over on the far right-hand side. So again, they love to leave you breadcrumb trails, which is really great as well. I'm going to jump back and take a look at the Vogue archive just to kind of show you the different options. And in this, the advanced search looks a little very similar. You've got a few more extra options regarding image details where you can search for a company, a fashion item, even a photographer, and so forth. But I want to focus here on the browse issues. And each of these, whether it's Harper's, Vogue, Vogue Italia, WWD archives, will all have the browse issue option. So if you select that, essentially what it's going to do is it's going to search for, if it's Vogue Italia, it does it by individual year. If it's Vogue Archive or Harper's or WWD, it organizes it by decade, and then you can whittle it down by then. So here you've got the most recent decade, and then you can, again, the first issue of Vogue was in 1892, so you can go back to that first issue. Say, actually, let's go to 1893. Let's switch it up. And September. So you'll see, once upon a time, they actually had multiple issues per month. And then as time progressed, they ended up going to 2. And then what we now know is a monthly magazine, which is so cool to me. So once you select that, select view issue. And essentially what they've done is they've digitized everything from the first page to the last page. And we can easily click into the first option. And you can see the scan option. And then up top, you can actually see little arrow keys, and you can flip through the magazine like you would a real magazine, which is, I don't know, to me, it's really cool to be able to do that. And just like we saw with Harper's Bazaar, you have your toolbox over on the far upper right corner and related items down below. So let's see. Let me just quickly show you again the WWD archive layout. So this is going into the browse issue option. So you'll see here, the advanced search looks very similar. And then the Vogue Italia as well. So very, very similar between each. It's just very specific to that individual piece. So the last thing I will say is that we do have print Vogues on site, 1950 to 1989, I believe it is at the UC at the 6th floor information desk. So you can ask for them there. And then everything from 1990 to current bound issues for Vogue is upstairs on the 7th floor in the UC. We have earlier Vogues before 1950 off-site, so you can request those and have them brought on site. And the same thing for Harper's Bazaar US. I think we have 1930 or 1940 to current, all bounded. And again, they're off-site, but you can request them to be brought on site, and you can use those as well. The print items cannot leave the library, but you can scan them. So that's an option too. So next we will come back and we will talk about more fashion forecasting resources. Thanks, guys.